Let's be honest here. The way many of us treat and view animals might not be what most of us prefer it to be. When you think of an animal, the first thing that probably comes to your mind is something that isn't human. You might think of your pet, of a cat or of a dog. We don't typically view ourselves as animals. We see ourselves as something that is higher up and more civilized. Most of us eat animals for food or keep them as pets. Some people keep animals around for producing their own food, like eggs or milk. Maybe you know someone who shears sheep for wool, maybe not. The point is, we use animals for human purposes, whether it's eating, entertainment, or other utilities. My topic today is not to blare at the world, telling everyone it's wrong to do these things. My topic is instead about teaching people about the wrongdoings and cruel acts some people do towards animals. I myself am not a vegetarian or a vegan. I do eat meat, and I'm not here to say that eating meat is wrong. What in my opinion is wrong is when animals are tortured or slaughtered or mercilessly and cruelly killed. Now, of course, what is the best for our world and our society is when an animal can die a natural death, because then ecology checks out and everything is in balance. However, in a world where human-crafted death machines are everywhere, even inside our own house, natural death is not going to become the fate of many animals. That doesn't mean we shouldn't do our part to step in and stop unnecessary problems, stop unnecessary problems for animals. In an article by Rajan Thapalia on Huffington Post, approximately 26,000 stray dogs live on the streets of Kathmandu city. These dogs can become sick and spread various diseases throughout the city. The government started a campaign to start killing the dogs before they could cause any more harm. However, this campaign was quickly disbanded because it was looked down upon greatly by everyone. The entire situation could have been avoided if we took our part in spaying and neutering the dogs before they could continue further growth throughout the streets. We can't wait for the government to halt these problems sometimes. We must do our own good acts from time to time. Imagine if everyone stopped attending bullfighting events. Imagine if everyone suddenly got the idea that stabbing at a bull slowly while laughing at it for absolutely no idea at all was a horrible and cruel act that should never be committed or witnessed. If everyone in Spain stopped attending bullfighting events, they would probably no longer exist. There would be no more torturing of a bull anymore. One less cruel act towards a living creature. A creature that has the freedom to live out its days, not contained in a cell, without being fed and being forced mad. Bullfighting is still legal in Spain and may never be outlawed. The good news is that in a survey by El País, 60% of Spaniards are opposed towards bullfighting, compared to the 40% who do. However, in Spain, it seems that the situation continues like a laissez-faire, where the minority continue to watch it even if the majority disagree with it. Where you are, you might think that you are unable to do anything to stop this kind of event. However, you are always able to give a small donation to the Spanish Association for the Defense of Animal Rights, which could lead to a breakthrough in stopping it once and for all. And more people every day are making changes to our current society, and most of these changes are changes for the good. A change like stopping torture for a living creature would definitely be a change for the good. Another such example of a cruel act towards animals would be seal hunting. Seal hunting today is currently practiced in Canada, the United States, Norway, Greenland, Namibia, Iceland, Russia, Finland, and Sweden. However, it's mainly done in Canada and Greenland. Seal hunting is held as a tradition more than it is to collect fur or food. If I were to give a small description of what these hunts are like, I would probably say red ice. because that's what they look like. It's blood and carcasses all over a field of ice. Many of the seals hunted are not killed quickly or humanely either. Most seals are harpooned from a boat and then bashed mercilessly over and over until they are killed with a hakapic, which is a tool specifically designed for killing seals. This is known as seal clubbing. What might make this seem worse for you is that only baby seals actually have fur, which means the vast majority of the seals that are clubbed and killed are the babies. Many protests have been made to end this hunt because it has no clear benefits, but little has prevailed. In Russia, they made a law accepting seal clubbing only if the seal is older than 1 year old. Seal clubbing still exists today, and like bullfighting, it is cruel and inhumane, and serves little purpose other than tradition. An awful tradition that can make all of humanity reflect better as a society on ourselves if it was gone completely. Ever since I was young and saw a seal clubbing on videos, I knew I wanted to become an advocate for the seals. And not just seals, but for all animals, really. There are many cases of animal torture and cruelty that still remain in bits of society today. Much of it is gone, but what remains needs to be stopped. I know someone who recently had a dog and cared very much for it. However, this person's parent was not quite as keen on caring for that dog. The parent abused it and tortured and starved the dog for 3 days on purpose, and he would constantly yell at it. The parent even threw the dog physically into the garbage, and he would never let the dog go outside. When the parent physically threw the dog in the garbage, the child managed to rescue the poor dog, and in the end, even though the child loved this dog very much, the child knew the best thing to do would be to take the dog to another family so it could be free from the inhumane acts of the child's parent. Because of the action the child took, the dog lived a happy life without being terrorized by the parent ever again. Thank you.